Good evening to all of you. I hope all of you have joined.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Ritika.
Sir, good evening.
Good evening, Nikhil. Good evening.
How are you?
Fine, fine. How are you? कैसे हैं आप?
Great, sir. Hello, Vijay sir.
Vijay sir is also here, so let me know. Yes.
Great, sir. Great seeing you.
So Vijay sir, I will now hand over the mic to Vijay sir only shortly.
Sir, we can wait for 3-4 minutes.
Sure. Why not? I'm anyhow making Vijay sir comfortable with this system. So in the meanwhile, we can make him comfortable with the system and then we can start the session. All right, so just a moment. Okay. I think few more guys are yet to come. Amritansu has just joined. There's one name that is being shown here, Kamal. So, of course, good evening to Kamal, good evening to Amritansu. And now Amrasri is also there. So, Amrasri, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Amritansu. Good evening. So, shall we proceed then?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. So I welcome all of you once again for this session on Indian polity. And as you know that we'll be starting the prelims related classes of Indian polity also very soon. So today that process has started, or rather it has begun with the introduction of the teacher or faculty who will be guiding you on Indian polity, especially in this particular phase. And even Kanik sir will also join us, all right, later on, in fact, to discuss the current affairs part as well. So that is the plan, and Vijay sir is there. So Vijay Narayan Singh sir, so he has been teaching in this field for last more than 6-7 years, and right now he's a faculty there in Nirman IS. So he has been teaching there, that is on permanent basis, in fact, and he has also come to interact with all of you. So he will give you his idea about Indian polity and how you should approach Indian polity, and how in the class also he will be conducting those basic classes of Indian polity, which is essential for all of you in terms of understanding this particular subject right from the basics. All right, and then of course he'll also let you know how to approach the current affairs part as well. Fine. So now I'm handing over this mic also to Vijay sir. So he will now interact with you. Fine, for another or whatever hours that he'll take, and whatever doubts that you will be having also, you should feel free to raise your doubts, all right, once he will be finishing his entire you can say session, in fact. All right, so that is going to be the session today. Fine. So now Vijay sir, he will be interacting with you. So now I'm inviting him to interact with you. Okay, fine. So see.
Thank you, Amit sir, for inviting me over here and for this wonderful session with all those present over here. So, very good evening to all of you. Uh, I'm seeing Nishant, Ritika, Amritanshu, and others. Good evening to all of you. So, are you all comfortable? Okay, so we will be starting this session, especially in context to Indian polity and governance. We do know that recently, on 4th of this month, UPSC has uh, pointed out its notifications, and in that we have 712 seats for which you people will be appearing for. And you know that is as like I will like to focus on the past also. You must have remembered in 2008 when recession was there, automatically the number of seats was there, but the number of candidates had increased over there. So this time also we know that since 1 year we are struggling hard to come out with the COVID phase. This phase, one of the most typical phase. Thus, here the very services in context to private services and public services, the very tussle between the candidates are there. Thus, most of the people who were in the private services will try to move towards the government services, government jobs. Thus, here we will be finding that. Okay. So here we will be finding that for this 712 seats, the number of candidates are going to increase. So the competition is going to be a bit typical or bit tough over here because the number of seats are less and the number of applicants are going to be more in that context. And now, since we are on 9th March over here and the examination is on 27th June, so no time left over here. So we have to be a bit tricky in terms of preparations. Got the point? So till now, those who have were preparing for the mains will have to stop their mains preparation and try to focus especially exclusively for the prelims, because once the prelims will be declared, then only you will be in a position to write the mains and you will be one of the most eligible candidate for this civil services examination. So entire focus must be on the prelims right now. And as we all know that when it comes to the prelims qualifications or to write for the mains, uh, there seems to be one of the most important criteria which need to be checked all the time, because we are in the competitive field over here, not for the academic field. So for each and every angle we have to take care of seriously. Got the point? Are you all comfortable? So we'll have to take the very cutoff marks also always in our mind. And since I'm here for Indian polity, so I will be making you comfortable and will be making you believe that this section of yours, Indian polity and governance, is going to be one of the most important sections. One is going to be accountable and responsible for cracking this prelims. I'm saying cracking this prelims, not the entire civil services over here, because we are here for the prelim session. Okay, got the point. So why is it so? Because if we look back, or we can say that this 2020 prelims also, 98 was the cutoff marks, and 2019 also 98 was the cutoff marks, and prior to that approximately 102, 104, 107, and near to some year 96 was also there. So anyway, we'll have to play between 95 to 105. Got the point? Since this year, in comparison to the 2020, that is in 2021, since in the beginning itself I have said that 712 vacancies, that is less than the previous year's vacancy, and aspirants are, and the number of candidates are going to be more. Thus the cutoff is going to land nearby 105, approximately 105 plus minus 2. So now we have to raise our target so that we can approach for at least 110 marks to clear this prelims examination, because then only we will be for sure that we are going to write the mains. Got the point? So we'll have to make the target for 110 marks. And in that 110 marks, what is the very relevance of Indian polity and governance over there? For that also we'll have to see the track record of Indian polity and governance. The moment I said that, that is in comparison to 2020 prelims, 98 was the cutoff marks, and number of questions being asked in prelims was 17. Got the point? So 98 cutoff marks, it means कि 49 question was there. Out of 49 questions, 17 was from Indian polity, constitution, and governance. It means approximately 1/3 questions in was from the, that is the Indian polity and governance. So this is the very lion's share of Indian polity and governance once it is to be once who has to clear this examination. See, when it comes to the nature of the question of Indian polity and governance, there seems to be three types of nature. Number one, some questions seems to be too easy in nature. Suppose out of 17, it was like that ki, 4 to 5 questions was simply very easy in nature. Whereas approximately three questions were tough in nature. It means one who had done their homework with full strength will only be able to even touch that question. Otherwise, rest of the people, it was very, very easy for them to leave that question. Got the point? So out of 17 question, approximately 14 to 15 question was approachable. It means if three question, the toughest one, and four question, the most simplest one, if we leave over there, okay, it means approximately 9 to 10 question was of a nature where the concept as well as the fact was required. Got the point? And there the analysis was required. You have to focus, you have to work for that question itself, because 3-4 questions which seems to be easy in nature will be an easy cake, and for that you will not have to prepare more. But those 9-10 questions, for that you have to struggle a lot. You have to make the entire point to clear that one, and for rest 2-3 questions you need not have to worry at all. So out of these 17 questions, 14 to 15 questions was the good job, if from my point of view, to have that one. Suppose if 14 or 15 questions, those who have made right, out of 48 needed to clear this prelims examination, then also we can say that the approximately 1/4 importance was the importance of this, the polity sections. Got the point? So if we look over here, the previous year's analysis, okay, so what we found that, need to scroll. Okay, so try to see the slides over here, that in 2011, 10 questions were asked. 2012, 21 question was there. 2013, approximately 17 question was there. And right now you must be seeing on the screen over here, the 22 questions were asked in 2017, and then also in 2020, in the beginning itself, I said 17 question was there. So the overall scenario do explains that this year 2021, approximately 18 to 19 question is going to be asked in this prelims examination. Got the point? 18 question, minimum 18 question you will be finding over here. Got the point? Because on an average, it seems 16 questions every year is used to be there. But since the government is playing an important role, even the parliament is working in full phase. So lot many bills, amendments, acts, and that all will be there. So in that context, we will be finding that 18 questions this year is going to be asked from these sections. Got the point? So 55 out of 55, 18 will be the share of that one. Got the point? Now, in context to be comfortable with these 18 questions, first of all, we'll have to try to focus upon the syllabus of this Indian polity and governance. The syllabus that is from both perspective, the prelims and the mains perspective. Those who do have the very idea that since it's a prelims examination, those will have to focus only on the prelims syllabus, will have to check themselves again that the very examples of couples of years, or the we can say since 2015, the very pattern of UPSC has changed a lot. Until and unless you will not be having the very preparation of main syllabus also, you will not be comfortable in terms of cracking the prelims examination. So I will give you the examples also. I will prove you also with this, with some of the questions, examples questions with that point. Okay, so the moment I said that this syllabus is one of the most important thing to be on your tips. Beside this, I would also like to draw the attention of yours, because some of the people over here might be giving their very might be appearing for the very first time. Some might have appeared for twice or thrice but could not have qualified the prelims. But some of the people, they on regular basis might be writing the mains examinations everywhere, so they will be comfortable over here. So but then also they will have to focus upon the entire syllabus perspective, especially for those who will be writing their prelims for the very first time, or for those who, even though had been writing these prelims for 2 3 years and were not able to qualify these prelims, will have to have the very golden time to crack this prelims examination this time. How come? With this perspective that in context to Indian polity and governance, we'll have to focus especially on the syllabus part. Most of the people, they see that is when it comes to prelim syllabus, the prelim syllabus especially says that Indian polity and governance, constitution, political system, panchayati raj, public policies, right issues, etc. This is what mentioned in the syllabus. Okay, we have to decode these lines so that we can have the master on this syllabus. And even the questions being asked in the examination, you will be finding that simply they are asking from these lines itself. And for that, we'll have to focus upon the main syllabus to draw the attention. Got the point? So prelims was like that: Indian polity and governance, constitution, political system, panchayati raj, public policies, right issues, etc. Now, if we approach towards the main syllabus looks like this. What's it is on the screen, and you all might be well comfortable with this one. That is right from Indian Constitution, historical underpinning, evolution, features, amendment, significance, provisions and basic structures, to the comparison of Indian Constitution schemes with that of other countries, structures, organization, and functioning of executive and the judiciary ministries and department of government, pressure groups and formal informal associations, silent features of representation of people's act, statutory, regulatory and various quasi judicial body functions, responsibilities. That is all whatsoever being mentioned in the screen over here. By going through this syllabus, one who is a fresher will not be in a comfortable position to analyze that what about this syllabus, what UPSC has made from this syllabus. Got the point? Always be in a confusing mode until unless he would not have written 2 3 examination. Got the point? Even though people who have given 2 3 attempts will not be in a position comfortably with this syllabus. For that, the simple requirement is to decode this syllabus. Got the point? So prelims and main syllabus had been decoded so that it becomes easy for you people to be comfortable with. Because until and unless one will not be comfortable with this syllabus, will not be in a position to identify that which chapter has to be focused more, and if a question is being given in the examination, how that question is to be solved with more accuracy. Got the point? So in terms with the mains and prelim syllabus, what the decoded syllabus over here is that when it comes to the very first chapter you have to focus upon is the making of the constitution. Got the point? Will in context to Indian polity, constitution and governance, the historical perspective from Indian polity and governance side must not to be focused upon. Why? Because this you will be taking care under this the modern India sections itself. And simply one means कभी कभी एक क्वेश्चन पूछा जाता है और या दो क्वेश्चन पूछा जाता है, वो भी ओकेजनली कभी पूछा जाता है, इस पे इसलिए बहुत ज्यादा फोकस करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Simply start from the making of the constitution, and that is in context to the features and nature of the constitution, especially the very characteristics of the federal features, federal structure, unitary structure, and what does the in actual sense the quasi-federal means. Got the point? Beside this, the very significant provisions in respect to basic structure. Basic structure must be on your tips, because out of any of the basic structure, the examiner can ask the question in both conceptual format and in the factual format. Okay. So from very first chapter, that is making of the constitution, features, nature, significant provisions, and the basic structure must be well proved. Even some of the cases can be asked by going through the previous year's question paper. You can see that the question had been asked regarding the basic structure, that with which case the very basic structure came into force. Keswanand Bharti case. Got the point? 24th Constitutional Amendment Act was there, and Keswanand Bharti case 1973 was there. So this is the landmark through which the entire constitutional perspective has changed. The entire basic structure, those significant provisions had got the very basic structure in that terms. Okay, so this seems to be the very core area from this very chapter. Got the point? Beside this, the second chapter, which is union and its territory, is going to be most important this year. Why? Because when it comes to this chapter, union and its territory, one more thing I would like to comment over here, that when it comes to the Indian polity constitution especially, will not, most of the time you will be seeing that some people will be recommending that the current affairs in context to Indian polity, that is 1 year current affairs will be sufficient. I say that no, at least 2 years current affairs must be taken care of seriously, because 16 to 17 questions is the share of this paper. Okay, and it is quite not possible, because Indian polity is one of the dynamic subject, as like that of Indian economy. That is, history is the static part, geography can also be the static part, but when it comes to polity and economy, they are not the static one, they are the dynamic. And throughout the year, n number of cases you will be finding over here. Thus it is impossible to cover the maximum aspect, all the important aspects in a year itself. So beside this, you know that UPSC, that is unpredictable services examination, is there. So at least 2 years current affairs, especially in context to Indian polity, has to be mastered of. Now, the union and its territory, if you remember, last 2 years, lot many changes have been over here. For example, that is, you can see the Jammu and Kashmir issues over there. What the point? First of all, the Jammu and Kashmir state had been that is 370 had been eliminated, and then Jammu and Kashmir had been made the territory, Jammu and Kashmir and the Ladakh, and then the state reorganization commission is being formed, so that again to give them the very status of the states over there. Beside this, same happened with the union territories, Dadar and Nagar Haveli and the Daman and Diu, those issues were there. Okay, it had not been asked yet since the issue had been raised. So there is a quite possibility that this year this can appear in your question paper. Same thing when it comes to the next chapter, citizenship. Okay, it is also one of the most important chapter for this year's, regarding in context to the NRIs versus the OCI card holders issues. Beside this, the CAA and NRC issues. Okay, from that perspective, it is going to be one of the most important point. Beside this, the in context to citizenship, at a point of time, we do know that very clearly that we do have the very single citizenship concept, but indirectly we are also following the dual citizenship concept also. So in these two concepts, that is the single citizenship versus the dual citizenship, the questions, the conceptual questions can be asked. Simply one-liner question, very easy question will be there, that what type of citizenship nature we do have the single citizenship. So that is not going to be asked by the UPSC. That can be asked by any of the state services examination. But since UPSC will be there, UPSC will try to trap you between the very concept of single citizenship and the dual citizenship. Why I said dual citizenship? Because the moment we are focusing on the we can say diaspora, because 2-3 सालों से हम लोगों ने तमाम डायस्पोरा पे फोकस करने की कोशिश की है, और जहां पर भी डायस्पोरा की बात आती है वहां पर हम ये कोशिश जताने की कोशिश करते हैं कि चाहे वो पीआईओज हो, चाहे ओसीआई कार्ड होल्डर्स हो, वो हमारे सिटीजन्स के तरह ही उनको ट्रीट किया जाएगा, सिवाय वोटिंग राइट नहीं दे करके और राइट टू कंटेस्ट द इलेक्शन नहीं दे करके. रेस्ट ऑफ द राइट्स दे टू बी एंजॉयिंग विद इन द टेरिटरी ऑफ इंडिया. सो यहां से कॉन्सेप्चुअल क्वेश्चंस दे करके, बिकॉज ये सारी चीजें विवादों में रहा है, तो यहां से भी ये क्वेश्चंस आने की संभावना है फ्रॉम दैट पर्सपेक्टिव. गॉट द पॉइंट? आई होप यू माइट बी कंफर्टेबल विद दिस. बिसाइड दिस, व्हेन इट कम्स टू फंडामेंटल राइट्स, सी जो मैं 17-18 क्वेश्चंस की बात कर रहा हूं, उन 17-18 क्वेश्चंस में जो सबसे ज्यादा क्वेश्चन पूछे जाते हैं, वो क्वेश्चन अप्रोक्सीमेटली 7 to 8 क्वेश्चन, approximately 50% of the question is being asked from fundamental rights, DPSP, and fundamental duties and union government. What the point? ये 4 टॉपिक ऐसे हैं जहां से जिस ईयर भी आप क्वेश्चन पेपर उठा के देखोगे 50% क्वेश्चन इन्हीं में से होते हैं. क्या क्या? That is right from fundamental rights, DPSP, and the fundamental duties and union government. Because ये चैप्टर अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़े चैप्टर है. When it comes to fundamental rights, DPSP, fundamental duties and preamble also, these are the philosophies where the concept is at most important. The factual information you will be getting, but the conceptual information in context to philosophy, and this philosophy is based on preamble to the Constitution of India. And in that preamble, what is there? That is 8 words only. It's a game of 8 words, and they are not only words, they are the magical words upon which the entire polity, governance and constitution is dependent upon. And what is that? That is sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, justice, liberty, equity and fraternity. Whether the issue is of Jammu and Kashmir, or the issue is of CAA, or the issue is of NRC, or the issue is of what the farm bill is there, agitation is going on, or the issues what happened over the Lal Killa, that is with the flags. These issues is related with what? The very sovereignty of the nation, the very concept of the secular concepts. Okay, so and directive DPSP, directive principles of the state policies, it is entirely in relations with the, that is socialist nature of the nation, the socialist nature of the government. Got the point? So these 8 words, the very philosophy of these 8 words will have to be very clear in your mind. If it will be clear, definitely it's going to ease the workload of yours on the next topics, the other topics over there. Got the point? So when it comes to fundamental rights, you might be knowing that every year some 2 questions, at least 1 question seems to be there, or sometimes 2 to 3 questions directly or indirectly do comes from these 3 chapters. What the point? In that also, the very important are Article 21. Every year it seems important. One of the year in 2000, I hope in 18 they have asked regarding the right to marry comes under which fundamental rights? Was there or not? Okay, so nowhere in the very rule book or the constitution has been mentioned over there that right to marry is a fundamental right, but the very judgment came from the Supreme Court in one of the issues. Okay, that is Hadia issues, Hadia case, the issue was there. Okay, since that question was there. This year also, that is right to have internet access to internet is also trending over here. So which fundamental rights is it, or it comes under which fundamental rights? Okay, so this way you have to have the very judgment of the Supreme Courts all time to take care of regarding the right issues. Got the point? So some of the issues from fundamental rights that had to be taken care of very seriously. Definitely some 2 questions is going to come from here. Right from DPSP also, if you look over here, the nation India is termed as the one of the welfaristic nation from the socialist point of view. And so every year, at least one question do appears in the question papers of yours. If you look over there, the Maternity Benefits Act was there. This year, Article 39 is going to be one of the most important from this perspective, directive principles of the state policies. Got the point? So, if you look again over here, that is the fundamental duties, being the very citizen of the nation and being one of the important human resource of this nation, you have to have the very directive fundamental duties of yours well known. Got the point? Because जिस तरीके से देश में अगर हम देखें कि सॉवरेनिटी के लिए हम अपने नागरिक खुद ही खतरा बनते चले जा रहे हैं, देश की जो सेकुलर कॉन्सेप्ट को हम ही चैलेंज करते चले जा रहे हैं, तो और जो भी प्रॉपर्टीज है उन प्रॉपर्टीज को हम डिस्ट्रॉय करते, पब्लिक प्रॉपर्टीज को हम डिस्ट्रॉय करते जा रहे हैं, या जो भी कहें कहीं ना कहीं अस्थिरता फैलाते जा रहे हैं, ऐसे केसेस में इट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, द गवर्नमेंट इज ट्राइंग टू टीच द लेसन to each and every individual that what accountability responsibility of yours are being the very citizen of this nation. So you must be well aware of the fundamental duties which you do possesses. Got the point? So one questions can also be asked from this, the fundamental duties. Got the point? So this is the important topic over there. Again, while decoding the chapters, will have what I had tried to make it that I have tried to make it more simplified in terms of this, the mains syllabus. Now, amendments is there, is one of the also important topic over there. अगर हम प्रेजेंट में देखें तो आपके टिप्स पे होना चाहिए कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट एक्ट 100 से लेकर के 105 तक, और बाकी की जब थ्योरीज में आप जाते हैं तो ऑलरेडी आर्टिकल 42, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट एक्ट 42, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट एक्ट 44, ओके, एंड रेस्ट ऑफ द अदर अमेंडमेंट एक्ट, जैसे इसमें भी और भी तरह से आ जाएगा, जैसे मान लीजिए कि एंटी डिफेक्शन लॉ इज in trend over here this years, okay, because lot many cases over here is that, okay. So 52nd constitutional amendment act is there. So irrespective of the other important amendments, constitutional amendment act, right from 100 to 105 constitutional amendment act, that must be on your tips. Got the point? The conceptual questions will be asked for sure from this, because EWS से लेकर के और अभी रिजर्वेशन पॉलिसी को लेकर के यहां से भी अमेंडमेंट्स की गई हैं, तो इसलिए मैं बता रहा हूं क्योंकि ये पिछले 2 साल के अंदर जो भी घटनाएं घटित हुई हैं, दैट हैज टू बी टेकन केयर ऑफ seriously. Got the point? Chapter wise, same condition over there when it comes to emergency provisions. Emergency provisions, that is national emergency is there, president rule is there, financial emergency is there. This year the president rule is going to be, or the governor rule is going to be one of the most important point for there, because last year देखे अगर हम देखें 2-3 साल पहले, तो चाहे वो जम्मू एंड कश्मीर में प्रेसिडेंट गवर्नर रूल लगा दिया गया था, या अभी पौंडीचेरी में भी देखें तो वहां भी लगाया गया है। साथ में अगर हम देखें कि महाराष्ट्र के केस में, जहां पर कि आधी रात को मिडनाइट को वहां से गवर्नर रूल हटा करके बिना कैबिनेट की बैठक के, तो वो कहीं ना कहीं किसी रूल बुक में मेंशन होगा, देन ओनली द गवर्नमेंट हैज डिड दिस, ओके। एंड भोर में ही, सुबह में ही, अर्ली मॉर्निंग में नई गवर्नमेंट फॉर्म हो जाती है जो प्रेसिडेंट रूल हटा करके। सो दिस इश्यूज becomes one of the most important issues when it comes to tackle with the emergency. I had taken this article 356 in the category of emergency over there, okay. So what is important, that has to be mastered upon. Rest traditional work you have to do, okay. जैसे नेशनल इमरजेंसी है, ठीक है, करो आप, उसके जो कॉन्सेप्ट्स है उसको देखो, फाइनेंशियल इमरजेंसी के कॉन्सेप्ट्स को भी देखो, लेकिन जहां पे ज्यादा फोकस करना है उस एरिया को हम हाईलाइट करते हुए चले जा रहे हैं। Got the point? Now, the next most important chapter is the union over here. Got the point? See, state is the repetition of union. State is the repetition of union. So we'll have to focus less upon the state, because अगर 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 हमने यूनियन को अच्छे से कर लिया है तो स्टेट अपने आप थोड़ा सा वहां पे आइडियाज लग जाते हैं, कॉन्सेप्ट लग सकते हैं. सिर्फ आपको स्टेट में फोकस वही करना है जो कि डिफरेंसेस हो. Got the point? That is the very if we look over here, the ordinance making power with the president and the governor. Okay, beside this, the discretionary power between the president and the governor. Got the point? Veto power between president and the governor. Got the point? So जहां पर थोड़े बहुत अगर डिफरेंसेस हो, उन डिफरेंसेस को ही सिर्फ स्टेट के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देखना है. रेस्ट ऑफ द थिंग इज गोइंग टू बी सेम ओवर देयर. नाउ द फोकस हैज टू बी मेड अपॉन द यूनियन, द एंटायर pretext. Some see, the parliamentary proceedings has to be taken care of very seriously. Got the point? From this perspective over there. Now what we saw over here, that in most of these states this year the Panchayati Raj elections had taken place. Got the point? Beside this, the very verdict of the various high courts in context to Panchayati Raj eligibility criteria, okay, is there. So we'll have to take care from that perspective also. What new had been made in the Panchayati Raj institution, that has to be focused upon. Got the point? Beside this, we'll have to focus from the context of cooperative societies, in especially because those who might be or who had been giving this examination on the regular basis, they have encountered that the concepts regarding the cooperative societies had not been asked yet. So from this years, we can say that cooperative societies perspective is going to be the important one. Got the point? Apart from the rural local bodies and the urban local bodies. So Panchayati Raj institution, there also we can expect the question over here. And next to it, we have to focus on the center state relation, the cooperative federalism, the role of Niti Aayog in context to cooperative federalism, the legislative, administrative, and the financial relationship between the center and the states. Got the point? So these three relationship between the center and the state, that has the very importance of zonal council, interstate council, because last year, or we can say in 2020 also, that is in most of the cases, that is zonal councils meeting were held, interstate meetings were held. Okay, virtual meetings had taken place at most of time. Okay, so from that perspective, it is going to be important also. In previous year's paper, in context to the central state relationship over there, and especially in touch with the governor's eligibility criteria, the Sarkaria Commission's report over the governor, that what type of governor in a state to be there. Okay, it was there or not? So it was not entirely from the state perspective. That is state from a state perspective interlinked with the center state relationship. That perspective had been asked, the question had been asked by that one, by the examiner over there. What the point? So all issues which develops the very relationship between the center and the states to enhance the cooperative federalism within the territory of India, that has to be taken care of properly. What the point? Beside this, apart from studying Supreme Court, High Court, tribunals individually, try to focus upon the integrated judicial system in India. The moment we say that judicial system in India, apart from these organizations in separation, the involvement of IT sector in the judicial system is also one of the most important. Just like e-courts are there, fast track courts are there, gram nyayalayas are there. Okay, so the tribunals are there. Okay, so अभी ट्रिब्यूनल्स भी इंपॉर्टेंट है, जैसे बहुत सारे इश्यूज को अभी देखा जाए, अगर इसी महीने की बात अगर हम करें तो जजमेंट बहुत से ऐसे आ रहे हैं जहां पर कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट के बर्डन को कम करने के लिए इश्यूज को कहा जा रहा है कि ट्रिब्यूनल्स के थ्रू रिजॉल्व कर लिया जाए. Okay, so tribunal is also going to be one of the most important perspective from where the questions can be asked over there. Okay, so this has to be in complete Supreme Court, High Courts, subordinate courts, tribunals, fast track courts, Gram Nyayalaya, etc. under the integrated judicial system in India has to be taken care of that. At the same line, the electoral system in India has also to be taken care of properly, because the kind of reforms in election by election commission in the electoral system is being initiated that has to be read properly. Beside this, the Representation of People's Act 1951 that also has to be taken care of properly in the changing scenario. Okay, why? Because the updated question is going to be asked from here itself. Never ever try to have that why we will be going through the Representation of People's Act or why will be taking to the fast track courts, Gram Nyayalaya. देखो, जो ये हमने कहा है कि 18 क्वेश्चन अप्रोक्सीमेटली होंगे जिनमें आप 15 क्वेश्चन कर सकते हो. ये 15 क्वेश्चन प्योर ट्रेडिशनल नेचर के नहीं होंगे, स्टैटिक नेचर के नहीं होंगे, स्टेटमेंट वाइज क्वेश्चन हो सकते हैं. और उन स्टेटमेंट, जैसे मैंने कहा कि 9 से 10 क्वेश्चन जो है वो आपको ऐसे होंगे जहां पर आपको लॉजिक लगाना होगा, जहां पे आपको कॉन्सेप्ट डेवलप करना होगा. जहां पे ये 9-10 क्वेश्चन होंगे, ये इन क्वेश्चंस में आपको स्टैटिक पे करंट जोड़ करके आएगा, स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड नहीं आएगा. So you will be having the very static knowledge over there, the traditional knowledge over there, and that traditional knowledge to be equipped with the in the current perspective. Okay, that's why I'm making the point over here that the electoral reforms must also be taken care of properly. Okay, because nothing had been defined clearly in the syllabus of the prelims. Simply कहता है prelims का syllabus कि Indian polity and governance, constitution, political system. So all will come under the political system, all will come under the constitution, especially the Panchayati Raj system. Why especially Panchayati Raj system has been mentioned in the syllabus of prelims? Because it has to be taken care in addition. Some specialty regarding the Panchayati Raj has to cover over here. The very public policies in the political system that gives the very glimpse of the governance within the territory of India. That is simple, moral, accountable, responsible, and transparent government. So wheresoever the very good governance is to be applied in the governance through public policies, it means the current perspective will be there. The current role of the political system will be there. Thus, always try to focus the very union government along with the other topics. Other topics means that is the center-state relationship, cooperative federalism, the integrated judicial system, the electoral system in India from current perspective over the traditional base. What the point? The base will be same, but the current perspective has to be over there. Again, the movement over here is that the constitutional bodies and the non-constitutional bodies. The moment I said the constitutional bodies, easily you can recognize that which bodies had been in news since last 2 years, and especially last 1 year. Got the point? So we'll have to take the last 2 years, but especially in last 1 year, that constitutional bodies as well as those non-constitutional bodies has to be taken in special, whereas in general the very perspective has to be taken care of that. Got the point? So most of the bodies you might be knowing about that, the constitutional bodies and non-constitutional bodies are there. So for example, if we look over here, that is National Commission for Scheduled Caste. Okay, so Atrocities Act was there, had been initiated, introduced, so that body becomes one of the important body. Central Vigilance Commission is there. Recently National Commission for Backward Classes was also initiated. Okay, was introduced. So that is also going to be one of the most important one. Got the point over there? Women Commission is playing an important role. So that is also one of the most important that is to be taken care of that. Lokpal and Lokayukt recently has been initiated. Lokpal, okay, so from that perspective, it is going to be one of the most important one. Okay, so while going through the current perspective, you will easily come to know that which constitutional body and which non-constitutional body had been in news in recent times. Recent times over here means in last 2 years. That has to be dealt in speciality. Got the point over there? Again, out of these, certain regulatory bodies also need to be taken care of. The moment we entered in this system, it means we are focusing on the governance sections of Indian polity. Got the point? Right? चाहे वो जुडिशियल सिस्टम हमने कहा, तो जहां सिस्टम इन्वॉल्व, चाहे वो इलेक्टोरल सिस्टम कहा या कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बॉडीज और नॉन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बॉडीज कहा या रेगुलेटरी बॉडीज कहा, तो यहां पर आपको गवर्नेंस के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से इन चैप्टर्स को देखना है, न कि प्योर स्टैटिक और करंट पर्सपेक्टिव में देखना है, बट द विजन शुड बी फ्रॉम द गवर्नेंस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. गॉट द पॉइंट? दैट इज गवर्नेंस मींस implementations perspective. How come it has to be implemented in a more simplistic manner, in a more transparent manner? We'll have to focus upon the implementation of these issues. Got the point? So these were certain areas from where the question has to come in the 2021 question paper. अब आप कहोगे कि सर क्या प्रूफ है कि इन्हीं एरियाज में से आएगा या ऐसे ही क्वेश्चन आएगा? तो उसके प्रूफ के लिए हम चलते हैं 2020 तक के कुछ क्वेश्चंस को देखते हैं और उसको मैच कराते हैं कि अभी तक जो हम लोगों ने डिस्कस किया या जो चीज जानने की कोशिश की या जो सेट पैटर्न ट्रेंड को जानने की कोशिश की, क्या उस लाइन लेंथ पे है या नहीं है? तो सिंपली माय पर्सपेक्टिव इज दैट व्हेन इट कम्स टू द प्रीवियस क्वेश्चन पेपर, got the point? You have to go through the question paper right from 2011, क्योंकि वहीं से सीसेट इंट्रोड्यूस हुआ था और एक नया ट्रेंड चला था. दूसरी चीज कि 2011 से 2020 तक को आपको फोकस करना है, लेकिन स्पेशली यू हैव टू फोकस फ्रॉम 2015 to 2020. got the point? 2020 means in general 2011 to 2020, but in speciality that is 2015 to 2020. Got the point? अब इसको भी देख लेते हैं हम लोग ताकि एक सेट पैटर्न को हम लोग समझ सकें. See, these are few questions. I haven't given mention over here the options of that one. Simply the question I have made it out so that you might means you can have your own previous question paper to look into that. The very first question I have taken over here of 2019. Appropriate definition of liberty. Got the point? Liberty कहां पे आता है? प्रीएम्बल में आता है. लिबर्टी फंडामेंटल राइट्स में आता है. और वहां हमने क्या बोला था? हमने ये बोला था कि these chapters has to be taken care in philosophy. ठीक है? ये जो कॉन्सेप्ट है ये हो भी सकता है, नहीं भी हो सकता है. What does philosophy say that? It at a certain point of time it can be, but in the same condition in other point of time it cannot be there. What the point? So liberty का appropriate definition पूछा था. So isn't it that once you have completed those 8 magical words with that of fundamental rights and the DPSP, you will be in a better position to define the appropriate sense of liberty. Got the point? Second question, Maternity Benefit Amendment Act 2017. Got the point? Why I said that? This Indian polity, constitution and governance along with the economy, Indian economy has to be taken because these two are one of the most dynamic sections in the prelims one. Okay, जो एक दूसरे से, because public policy is there. This public policy will come from the welfaristic point of view, that is in chapters from directive principles of the state policies in collaborations with the Indian economy also. Got the point? So that has to be taken care of that. So Maternity Benefit Amendment Act 2017 right? From that is from the DPSP point of view, the question was there. Again, if next question, governor of a state as per Sarkaria Commission to enhance the very relationship between the center and the state, what type of governor to be there in the state had been recommended by various commissions, and in that one of the most important commission is Sarkaria Commission. So how come what are the inputs of the Sarkaria Commission over there? That has been asked over here. Okay, इसलिए मैंने कहा कि चैप्टर्स को इंटररिलेट करके, कोरिलेट करके ही पढ़ने में आता है. सेपरेट करके पढ़ेंगे तो आप फिर इसमें आप सेपरेट करके पढ़ने में फिर आपको वो सेंस नहीं आ पाएगा, because you are not going for the state services examination, you are here for the Union Public Service Commission examination. Got the point? Same question will be there, but in most important texture, in other texture, it is going to be there. Got the point? Again, right to marry the person of one's choice. Question was there. So question right in context to fundamental rights. That is Article 21, right to life. Got it? Then question they asked, constitutional power under Article 142. The moment you recognize Article 142, it means it is in context to Union Judiciary, that is Supreme Court. It is in relations to Supreme Court. And I do remember that out of 4 options, only 1 option was in touch with the Supreme Court. Rest of the options were asked from High Court perspective, Supreme Subordinate Court perspective, Tribunal perspective. The moment you have categorized the entire the classification of the union, you will easily come to know by pointing out Article 142 that it is in relation with the Supreme Court decisions. So what constitutional power under Article 142 Supreme Court possesses, that has to be taken care over there. So isn't it under the integrated judicial system? Let's move on to the next question. With reference to the legislative assembly of a state, here the question is asking in reference to state legislative assembly. Got the point? In the beginning itself, I said that is 50% of the question is being asked from the union, the state, and the preamble, fundamental rights, DPSP, and fundamental duties. Got the point? 50% question is being, even 60% question is being asked from this. अगर हम ऊपर से भी देखें, चाहे वो लिबर्टी हो, चाहे मैटरनिटी बेनिफिट हो, चाहे गवर्नर हो, चाहे राइट टू मैरी जो फंडामेंटल राइट्स में आता है, या आर्टिकल 142 हो, या लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली तक की अभी बात हो, ये सारे इन्हीं में से हैं, इन्हीं चैप्टर्स में से जो 5 चैप्टर्स हमने इंपॉर्टेंट बताए थे. ओके, सो दैट इज गोइंग टू बी इंपॉर्टेंट. अगेन, disqualification on ground of office of profit, representation of people's act 1951. got the point? So ये भी उन्हीं चैप्टर्स में से है, the union में से है. got the point? Again, judicial review in India means that also comes from the judicial system as well as from what perspective? That is from the legislature perspective as well as from the judicial perspective. Okay, again, to maintain autonomy of Supreme Court in India. Again, the question from Supreme Court came, the union judiciary. Got the point? Again, election of President of India, it means the union. Question came from the union. No confidence motion, that is the parliamentary system. Got the point? No confidence motion, that is parliamentary system. Same chapter they had asked. Then parliamentary system of government. They had asked whether it is the union government or the state government. So for that, we have to understand what does it means the parliamentary system of government. So we have to have the very confidence to differentiate between the parliamentary form of government and the presidential form of government under the democratic structure, in the democracy. Got the point? Again, right to privacy under right to life and personal liberty. What does it means? Got the point? So again, over here, fundamental rights chapter is there. When it comes to MP-led funds, member of parliament, local area developments funds, it is there. Or अभी आपको याद होगा कि कोविड फेज में एमपी लेड फंड्स को रोक दिया गया था, जो कि 5 करोड़ रुपीस का होता है, हर एक एमपी को मिलता है पर एनम अपने एरिया, लोकल एरिया डेवलपमेंट के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से। और उसमें भी 10% जो फंड्स होता है वो स्पेशली SC ST कैटेगरीज के वेलफेयर के लिए खर्च करना होता है। सो दैट ऑल हैड गॉट स्टॉप्ड इन द कोविड फेज। सो इसलिए वहां से ये क्वेश्चन पूछा था 2020 में। सो एमपी लेड फंड्स, सेम चैप्टर अगेन। Rajya Sabha versus Lok Sabha, the very differentiation between the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. What special criteria Rajya Sabha possesses over Lok Sabha? The question was in this texture. Okay, how come the Rajya Sabha, in what cases the Lok Sabha do have the supremacy over the, Rajya Sabha do have the supremacy over the Lok Sabha? The same chapter, union government, and that is the parliamentary system. Okay, so what I want to make you ensure that out of entire Indian polity, constitution and governance, if you do have a well command over the preamble, the fundamental rights, DPSP, fundamental duties, and union and the states, you are not, or we can say you are going to easily make up with at least 60% of the question out of the 18 questions of yours. ठीक है, यानी 10 से 12 क्वेश्चंस के आसपास आप कंफर्टेबल हो जाएंगे। रेस्ट वाले चैप्टर्स को कवर करेंगे तो आप 15 तक आसानी से पहुंच जाएंगे, एंड विच वुड बी ए गुड स्कोर फॉर यू टू कवर आउट ऑफ 18। 15 मींस 1/4 एंड इवन मोर देन 1/4 जितना आपको प्रीलिम्स क्वालिफाई करने के लिए चाहिए, वो आपको यही सेक्शन उठा के दे देगा, इंडियन पॉलिटी एंड गवर्नेंस। अगेन इफ यू लुक ओवर हियर, लीगल सर्विसेज अथॉरिटीज फॉर फ्री लीगल services to citizens. Try to remember Article 38 to the Constitution, right from directive principles of the state policies. Okay, so what I do mean over here that if you focuses upon some of the questions, some of the sections, some of the parts of the Indian polity, constitution and governance, you will be in an easy mode to qualify this प्रीलिम्स एग्जामिनेशन, जिनके लिए प्रीलिम्स सबसे बड़ा हर्डल होता चला जा रहा है, या प्रीलिम्स अपने आप में एक सबसे बड़ा हर्डल है। व्हाट द पॉइंट? और अभी का जो प्रीलिम्स है वो अपने आप में वाकई में बहुत बड़ा हर्डल है। व्हाट द पॉइंट? सो दिस वाज फ्रॉम द प्रीवियस ईयर्स प्रीलिम्स क्वेश्चन पेपर। वन मोर थिंग टू ऐड अपॉन, ओके, आई वुड लाइक टू मेक यू ओवर हियर दैट, ताकि आप और भी ज्यादा एंश्योर हो जाओ। इट्स माय रिक्वेस्ट दैट before going for this examination, you must have a look at least twice over last 5 years mains question paper, और उस मेंस क्वेश्चन पेपर के जो 5 साल का होगा उसमें किस चीज के बारे में पूछा है, उसके प्रीलिम्स के ऑब्जेक्टिव क्वेश्चन, उसके कॉन्सेप्ट्स और उसके फैक्चुअल इंफॉर्मेशन भी आपको देख लेने होंगे, क्योंकि क्वेश्चन उनको पकड़ के, उस क्वेश्चन को भी पकड़ के उसका ऑब्जेक्टिव बना दिया जाता है, बिकॉज मोर और लेस द सिलेबस इज गोइंग टू रिमेन सेम। दैट्स व्हाई इन द बिगिनिंग इटसेल्फ आई सेड दैट कि nowhere clear cut definition of the prelim syllabus has been mentioned in the gazette over there. सिर्फ मेंस के सिलेबस को डिफाइन किया गया है, वो भी इतना हार्ड डिफाइन किया गया है कि आपको समझ पाने में बड़ी मुश्किल हो पाएगी। अगर आप देखेंगे तो स्कैटर्ड फॉर्मेट में होगा, एक चीज ऊपर दिया है तो उसका रेस्ट पार्ट नीचे दिया है, एकदम कहीं पे भी क्लियर कट सीक्वेंस में नहीं है। और सीक्वेंस में जब आप उसको डिकोड करते हैं तो बनाते हैं, तो दैट इज कॉमन फॉर बोथ प्रीलिम्स एंड द मेंस। इसलिए हमने कहा कि जब भी आप प्रीलिम्स में अपेयर होने जाएं, एटलीस्ट 5 इयर्स मेंस के क्वेश्चन पेपर के जो मेन इनपुट है उनको भी देखें। अगेन लेट्स मूव ऑन करते हैं हम लोग। अगर हम देखें, क्वेश्चन है, कहता है, डू यू थिंक Constitution of India does not accept principles of strict separation of power, rather it is based on the principles of check and balance? Check and balance between whom? Legislature, executive and judiciary. That is the organ of the constitution, 3 organs of the constitution. अगर हम देखें तो इसमें जुडिशियल रिव्यू के कॉन्सेप्ट्स के थ्रू भी तो चेक एंड बैलेंस होता है। लेजिस्लेटिव, एग्जीक्यूटिव, लेजिस्लेचर मींस इन कंटेक्स्ट टू यूनियन पार्लियामेंट, and in relations to the state legislative assembly, executive, the nature of the permanent executive and the temporary executive, judiciary, that is the context of judicial review, so that none of the authority can become autocrat in nature. It should be checked and balanced. तो इसका कॉन्सेप्ट कहां से आता है? उसका फैक्चुअल इंफॉर्मेशंस के थ्रू अगर आपने समझ रखा है तो डेफिनेटली इससे रिलेटेड अगर कोई भी क्वेश्चन आएगा प्रीलिम्स में, ऑब्जेक्टिव क्वेश्चंस आएगा, you will be in an easy mood to solve that question. Got the point? तो यहां से मेंस के क्वेश्चन से प्रीलिम्स पे जाना, that is also one of the smart tasks to be completed. Again, the next question, the Central Administrative Tribunal, which was established for redressal of grievances and complaints by or against central government employees, nowadays is exercising its power as an independent judicial authority. Sorry. The main input over here is that you have to focus upon the tribunal. Got the point? Tribunals. So many tribunals are there. Their accountability, responsibility that can be prepared from the prelims point of view. और अभी तो हमने कहा कि ट्रिब्यूनल्स अभी लाइमलाइट में है, पिछले एक महीने से ट्रिब्यूनल्स जो है वो हाईलाइट है, लाइमलाइट में है. तो ट्रिब्यूनल्स के रिगार्डिंग दैट इज पार्ट 14A अंडर सर्विसेज. Got the point? Part 14A under services. It is going to be one of the important perspective to take care upon. That is Article 223A and B. Getting my sense? Okay. So अगर उस पर्सपेक्टिव से देखें तो यहां से भी क्वेश्चन आप बना सकते हैं. ये रिसेंट क्वेश्चंस हैं, इसलिए हमने कहा कि इन क्वेश्चंस को सॉल्व करने से आपके प्रीलिम्स के भी कम से कम 2 से 3 क्वेश्चंस आपके इजीली मिल जाएंगे. वो क्वेश्चन मिलेंगे जो लोग कहते हैं कि बहुत टफ है, 2-3. मैंने स्टार्टिंग में क्या बोला था कि 2 से 3 क्वेश्चन ऐसे होते हैं जो कि सबको छोड़ना पड़ता है. इसलिए मैंने 18 में से 15 क्वेश्चंस की बात की कि 15 पे आप क्लेम करो, 3 छोड़ दो. लेकिन 3 वो भी आप नहीं छोड़ पाओगे अगर लास्ट 5 इयर्स के क्वेश्चन पेपर को आप एनालाइज करके और उसकी प्रिपरेशन आप प्रीलिम्स के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से, फैक्चुअल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से कर लोगे तब आप. व्हाट द पॉइंट? नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन कहता है रिगार्डिंग रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ पीपुल्स एक्ट 1951. तो रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ पीपुल्स एक्ट 1951 अगर आप इसको इजीली कर लोगे तो वहां ऑफिस ऑफ प्रॉफिट का क्वेश्चन था कि नहीं था? Disqualification से what are all are the criteria for the disqualification of the members of the parliament as well as the state legislative assembly is there? अगर वो पूछता है तो you will be in a easy position to resolve that question. Getting my sense? So अब यहां से representation of peoples act 1951 से आप ऑब्जेक्टिव क्वेश्चन बना सकते हो. Got the point? Next question, parliament's power to amend the constitution is a limited power. It means अमेंडमेंट्स, अगर अमेंडमेंट्स ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, उधर भी अमेंडमेंट्स है जो हमने अभी सिलेबस डिस्कस किया है प्रीलिम्स और मेंस का दोनों का. तो अमेंडमेंट्स में अमेंडमेंट्स थ्रू सिंपल मेजॉरिटी, अमेंडमेंट्स थ्रू स्पेशल मेजॉरिटी एंड अमेंडमेंट्स थ्रू स्पेशल मेजॉरिटी रेटिफाइड बाय मोर देन हाफ ऑफ द स्टेट्स. या द वेरी व्हाट डज इट मींस द अमेंडमेंट थ्रू स्पेशल मेजॉरिटी एंड दैट इज प्रेजेंट एंड वोटिंग. एक तो होता है कि स्पेशल मेजॉरिटी, एक होता है कि प्रेजेंट एंड वोटिंग. तो दोनों में क्या डिफरेंसेस है? अगर ये कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर होगा तो चाहे वो कॉन्सेप्ट्स में चाहे स्टेटमेंट वाइज क्वेश्चन पूछेगा, यू विल बी इन इजी पोजीशन टू सॉल्व दैट क्वेश्चन जो कि बाकियों के लिए टफ लगेगा. गॉट द पॉइंट? लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट वन, द रिजर्वेशन ऑफ सीट्स फॉर वुमेन इन द इंस्टीट्यूशन ऑफ लोकल सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट. अगर आप अपना प्रीलिम्स का सिलेबस देखोगे तो मैंने पहले ही बताया है कि स्पेशली मेंशन्ड है पंचायती राज. जबकि स्टार्टिंग होती है इंडियन पॉलिटी एंड गवर्नेंस, तो इंडियन पॉलिटी में तो ऑलरेडी थर्ड टायर ऑफ गवर्नमेंट ऑटोमेटिकली इट विल कम. बट व्हाई यूपीएससी हैज स्पेशली मेंशन्ड द पंचायती राज? यूपीएससी हैज स्पेशली मेंशन्ड द पंचायती राज only to highlight, only to point out the very special perspective of the पंचायती राज institutions. Getting my sense? और उसमें भी रिजर्वेशन ऑफ सीट्स फॉर वुमेन जो कि 1/3 है, लेकिन बहुत सारे स्टेट्स ने 50% उनको कर दिया है और बहुत सारे स्टेट्स ने वहां पे एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया भी लगा रखा है. जबकि एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया इलेक्शंस के कंटेक्स्ट में एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया नहीं है, चाहे वो एजुकेशनल हो या अदर क्राइटेरिया हो। गेटिंग माय सेंस? सो इन दैट पर्सपेक्टिव इट इज टू बी देयर। तो सारे पर्सपेक्टिव अगर इसके आप क्लियर कर लोगे तो चाहे जितना भी टफ क्वेश्चन आएगा 2-3 क्वेश्चन में, यू विल बी इन ए बेटर पोजीशन। एटलीस्ट आपकी जो प्रायोरिटी होगी 70 to 80% उस क्वेश्चन को सही करने की प्रायोरिटी होगी। और यूपीएससी के क्वेश्चन पेपर में हम जहां तक देखते हैं कि सिर्फ 40% ही होता है जहां पर आपको कमांड होता है कि नहीं यही सही है, 60% में आपको गेस लगाना ही लगाना होता है। और वो गेस अगर 70% 80% तक सही जाए, क्योंकि आपने ऐसा होमवर्क कर रखा है, तो यू विल बी इन ए बेटर पोजीशन टू स्कोर मोर मार्क्स इन कंपैरिजन टू अदर कैंडिडेट्स। गेटिंग माय सेंस? Let's move on to the other. The Attorney General is the chief legal advisor and lawyer of the government of India. Discuss. What the point? तो कई बार ऐसा भी होता है कि अटॉर्नी जनरल, जो अटॉर्नी जनरल नहीं होता है, इसके पहले किसी केस में लॉयर होता है, लेकिन अटॉर्नी जनरल बनने के बाद उसको गवर्नमेंट का साइड लेना पड़ता है और वो अपने ही क्लाइंट के अगेंस्ट में, जिसके फेवर में पहले था, वो अब अगेंस्ट में गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का लॉयर होने की वजह से वो अगेंस्ट में होता है। What the point? So the entire perspective, the constitutional provisions regarding the Attorney General, if it is clear, you will be in a better position to make it out the context of the constitutional bodies over there. ये तो एक एग्जांपल है constitutional bodies का, क्योंकि वो ये उस साल न्यूज में था, तो इसलिए मैंने कहा कि जो भी 2 साल के अंदर में कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बॉडीज न्यूज में रहे हों, उन सब कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बॉडीज को अपने आप में ध्यान में रखना है। व्हाट द पॉइंट? नेक्स्ट, डिस्कस ईच एग्जेक्टिव्स अटैच्ड टू द वर्ड रिपब्लिक इन द प्रीएम्बल, आर दे डिफेंडेबल इन द प्रेजेंट सर्कमस्टेंसेस। यहां प्रीएम्बल के बारे में पूछा गया है और हमने कहा कि प्रीएम्बल के जो वो 8 वर्ड्स हैं, वो वर्ड्स नहीं है, दे आर दी मैजिकल वर्ड्स, दे आर दी गोल्डन वर्ड्स, जिसकी फिलॉसफी अगर किसी को समझ में आ गई, इट मींस ही हैड द एंटायर अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, पॉलिटी एंड गवर्नेंस। हाउ कम? यहां दे रहा है कि एग्जेक्टिव अटैच्ड टू वर्ड रिपब्लिक, सो व्हाट एग्जेक्टिव इज दैट? डेमोक्रेटिक। तो डेमोक्रेटिक वर्ड है जो प्रीएम्बल का एग्जेक्टिव है, लेकिन ये डेमोक्रेटिक का भी अपना एग्जेक्टिव है, क्या है? सॉवरेन, सोशलिस्ट, सेकुलर। अगर कोई भी डेमोक्रेटिक रिपब्लिक नेशन, अगर इंडिया ही है डेमोक्रेटिक रिपब्लिक नेशन, अगर वो सॉवरेन नहीं होगा तो क्या उसका सेंस होगा डेमोक्रेटिक रिपब्लिक का? अगर वो सोशलिस्ट या वेलफेयरिस्टिक ओरिएंटेशन का नहीं होगा तो डेमोक्रेसी का कोई मतलब होगा? अगर वो सेकुलर कॉन्सेप्ट, इंडिया जो सेकुलर कॉन्सेप्ट अपनाता है, अगर वो नहीं होगा तो उसका सेंस होगा डेमोक्रेटिक रिपब्लिक का? नो। और अगर जस्टिस, लिबर्टी, इक्विटी एंड फ्रेटर्निटी का सेंस नहीं होगा तो डेमोक्रेटिक रिपब्लिक का कोई मीनिंग नहीं होगा। सो ये सभी वर्ड जो क्या आज के समय में प्रेजेंट सर्कमस्टेंसेस में डिफेंडेबल हैं, तो यहां पे हमको मेंस का सॉल्व नहीं करना है, लेकिन ये जो एग्जेक्टिव्स हैं रिपब्लिक के, इन सारे एग्जेक्टिव्स के सेंस, फिलॉसफीज और प्रिटेक्स्ट हमेशा हमको काम आएंगे। कहां पे? पीटी के क्वेश्चंस को सॉल्व करने के लिए। व्हाट द पॉइंट? So what I had made you to point out that when it comes to the previous year's question paper, you need not have to focus only upon the prelims question paper, but try to focus upon the mains question paper also, and that is not more than 5 years of, सिर्फ 5 year, last 5 years के questions, और वहां से आप ऑब्जेक्टिव क्वेश्चंस को बनाए, उनके बारे में जो क्वेश्चंस पूछा गया है। Getting my sense over here? Besides this, when it comes to schedules, certain schedules 1 to 12 is there, but then also we have to go through the entire schedules, but some important schedules which are going to be important this year, right from schedule 1 and 4. Why I am saying so? Because हम देखे जम्मू एंड कश्मीर के केस में, हम देखे दादर एंड नागर हवेली के केस में, ठीक है, या अगर हमने कहा कि राइट फ्रॉम अमेंडमेंट्स, 100 अमेंडमेंट से लेकर के 105th अमेंडमेंट तक के केस में, अगर हम देखें तो कहीं ना कहीं आर्टिकल 1 and 4 is going to be important. Sorry, schedule 1 and 4 seems to be important. अगर प्रीवियस के क्वेश्चन पेपर में पूछे तो एक बार किसके बारे में, शेड्यूल 5 एंड 6 के बारे में अक्सर पूछता है, और वो पूछ चुका है 2 साल पहले, 2-3 साल पहले. Got the point? So it might be the chance that this year schedule 1 and 4 can be asked. Got the point? Beside this, schedule 7 and 8 is also important for this year. Why 7 and 8? Because that is in 7 में क्या किया गया है, that is division of power को लेकर के, various list को लेकर के, यूनियन लिस्ट, स्टेट लिस्ट, कंकरेंट लिस्ट. अगर हम देखें एग्रीकल्चर इश्यूज को लेकर के, एग्रीकल्चर बिल को लेकर के देखें, तो एग्रीकल्चर बिल के में कुछ कॉन्सेप्ट्स, व्हाई सेंटर इज इंटरवेनिंग इन द स्टेट इश्यूज or the issues which comes under the concurrent list over which the states has made the law. Because in this certain areas of central government also lies over there. So central government, the trade and transportation से लेकर के बाकी इश्यूज जो जिसपे कि रूल एंड रेगुलेशन सेंट्रल ने बनाया है, तो वो और एक नेशनल इंपॉर्टेंस का इश्यू है, then that from that perspective only the central government has made the law. It means they can ask a question from that, which certain list of subjects, it belongs to which category, union list, state list or concurrent list. What the point? So schedule 7 is important. Schedule 8 also is going to be important because अभी languages की list में कुछ languages को अलग से जोड़ने की बात की जा रही है. हिंदी को लेकर के confusion जो है, राजभाषा है कि राष्ट्रभाषा है, ठीक है, या हिंदी को क्या स्टेटस होना चाहिए, तो वो भी एक इंपॉर्टेंट इश्यू है. कई बार ऐसे होते हैं जो इश्यूज पूरे हो जाते हैं तो यूपीएससी पूछता है, लेकिन कई बार ऐसा भी होता है कि जब इश्यूज इनिशिएट करते हैं तो भी यूपीएससी एक क्वेश्चन पूछ लेता है वहां से. तो हमको कहीं से भी कुछ छोड़ना नहीं है, क्योंकि अभी हमारे पास कितना टाइम है, अभी हमारे पास 3 months 15 days. I won't be saying 3.5 months. 3 months and 15 days right from here. Why? Because 3 complete months जहां पे आप पूरी तरीके से फुल फ्लेज प्रिपरेशन कर सकते हैं, and in last 15 days simply slog over की तरह आउट होने से डरना नहीं है. रिवीजन 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 रिवीजन, और क्या, किसका रिवीजन, दैट इज जो आपने 3 महीने में कंप्लीट आपने देखा हुआ है. What the point? Beside this, schedule 10 is also going to be important in perspective to anti-defection law. Getting my sense? And 11 and 12 always important because हमने इसमें पंचायती राज को अलग से इनिशिएट किया गया है. So while going through the Indian polity, governance and constitution, we have to focus in this way, we have to have the approach in this way, so that out of those on an average 18 question, at least 15 question must be in your hand, so that you can have 25% of marks from this sections alone to qualify the prelims. What the point? Because 25% अपने आप में बहुत बड़ा एक शेयर होता है. Getting my sense? Okay, so this was the very approach to make it point. Now one more thing I have to make it over here, that what should be the material which you have to take into consideration. Since I said that 3 months and 15 days is here, I'm not saying 3.5 months, 3 months, because in 3 months you have to at least go through. अगर अब यहाँ से भी बहुत अभी टाइम है, जब अगर आप प्रिलिम्स फोकस होगे तो at least my request will be, because you all are mature one, आपने ऑलरेडी पूरा कर चुके होंगे, आप एक एटलीस्ट वंस और ट्वाइस आपने क्वेश्चंस पढ़ लिया होगा. अगेन मेरी एक सलाह है, आपने पढ़ भी लिया है तो एक नॉवेल की तरह विदाउट पेन एंड पेंसिल को लिए हुए एटलीस्ट एनसीईआरटी एक राउंड जो है वो इंडियन पॉलिटी की खत्म कर जाओ. 2 दिन लगेगा, 2 दिन लगेगा. व्हाट द पॉइंट? ताकि फिर से पूरा रिफ्रेश हो जाए जो आपने कर रखा है. सेकंड, लक्ष्मीकांत को कभी अकेले नहीं पढ़ना, बिकॉज देयर इज, लक्ष्मीकांत इज टर्म्ड एज वन ऑफ द बाइबल, रिगार्डिंग लाइक अ बाइबल, बट लक्ष्मीकांत ऑन इट्स ओन इज इनकम्प्लीट, बिकॉज बहुत जगह इन बिटवीन लाइंस गैप है और वहां पे आपको कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में नहीं आता है, नहीं आएगा, ब्लैंक हो जाओगे आप. सो गो थ्रू लक्ष्मीकांत इटसेल्फ. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि लक्ष्मीकांत नहीं पढ़ो, बट लक्ष्मीकांत को मेन बुक मान करके बेयर एक्ट के साथ कंपेयर करके पढ़ो, जिस टॉपिक को पढ़ रहे हो आप, ठीक है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल प्रेसिडेंट, यू आर गोइंग थ्रू प्रेसिडेंट, तो प्रेसिडेंट को पढ़ रहे हो तो उसके साथ साथ बेयर एक्ट में से, पीएम बख्शी बेयर एक्ट में से प्रेसिडेंट के रिगार्डिंग जो आर्टिकल्स हैं, उन आर्टिकल्स को अगर आप पढ़ने के बाद लक्ष्मीकांत पढ़ोगे तो उससे बढ़िया कोई बुक नहीं मिलेगी। लेकिन सीधे लक्ष्मीकांत पढ़ोगे विदाउट इन सपोर्ट ऑफ द बेयर एक्ट, ओके, ऑलवेज यू विल बी इन ए डिलेमा, कॉन्सेप्ट्स आपको पजल्ड कर देंगे। गेटिंग माय सेंस? ओके। न्यूज़पेपर के लिए ऑलरेडी यू माइट बी नोइंग, जो करंट पर्सपेक्टिव करंट के लिए आता है, लेकिन पॉलिटी के सेंस में अगर हम बात करें तो एटलीस्ट पीआरएस को एक बार देखना, एटलीस्ट जुलाई से लेकर के और मई तक की पीआरएस, उसके इंपॉर्टेंट जो इश्यू सारे पूरा कंप्लीट नहीं करना है, आपको खुद ही देखने में लग जाएगा कि कौन कौन से इंपॉर्टेंट रहे हैं। और योजना के अंदर भी इंडियन पॉलिटी एंड गवर्नेंस को खोजने की कोशिश करना। समझ में नहीं आए अगर आपको, तो सिर्फ फर्स्ट पेज जो योजना का होता है, जो वेरी फर्स्ट पेज, हर पेज में 5-6 पॉइंट्स होते हैं, उन पेजेस में से अगर आप देखोगे तो आपको करंट पॉलिटी का पर्सपेक्टिव मिल जाएगा, जिसको आप पूरी तरीके से कवर करके आप करंट पॉलिटी की तरफ भी जा सकते हो। Got the point? So what as a material you have to focus upon at least once the NCERT as like the novel, ठीक है, ताकि वो क्विक रिवीजन एक हो जाए। फिर उसके बाद लक्ष्मीकांत विद बेयर एक्ट, और बाकी करंट पर्सपेक्टिव के लिए आप ऑलरेडी रेडी हो। Got the point? This was my entire clear-cut suggestions for you people who are going to appear for this year's prelims examination. And definitely, if you will cover all those things in a strategic manner, then from my sections, from Indian polity and governance point of view, you will be always on the upper edge. Got the point? So if anyone want to ask any of the questions regarding this from this very first session, you can ask. You all are welcome.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, for example, if the government passes a law, do we have to read it clause by clause?
Again, come out with, it's not audible clearly.
Sir, I was asking that when the government passes a law, do we have to read it clause by clause?
No, not only the final outcome, you have to go through that, and also in what manner it had been passed, through simple majority, special majority, or special majority ratified by more than half of the states. Okay, and that is the issue comes under which list, that also has to be taken. The procedure has to be taken care of, not by clause.
Sir, for example, in the MP Lads question asked in this prelims, final there were 4 options. So the fourth one was very difficult option to remember because it was asking some 10% related to that the DM will check 10%, something like that, sir. So that is very typical.
See, it was not difficult. The only issue was there, you were not in a position at that time when this MP-led funds got cancelled by the parliament. At the same moment, if you would have checked it out, वो क्लॉज उसमें मेंशन है, आपको पूरा निकल जाएगा, चाहे गूगल में आप देखोगे, एमपी लेड फंड डालोगे, पूरा क्राइटेरिया निकल जाएगा उसका।
जी सर।
ठीक है, क्योंकि आपने उस पर ध्यान नहीं दिया था उस टाइम ना, जिस समय ये कैंसिल किया गया था। तो
जी सर,
ठीक है, तो पूरा निकल जाएगा उसका प्रोविजंस। या एनीवन एल्स?
सर न्यूज़पेपर में सिर्फ एक ही करना है, इंडियन एक्सप्रेस।
देखो, 2 चीजें हैं। न्यूज़पेपर की अगर बात करें तो चूंकि अगर ये प्रीलिम्स की बात है तो आई वुड लाइक कि अगर हिंदू रहे तो द बेस्ट रहे। अगर मेंस एग्जामिनेशन का होता तो मैं ये कहता कि 2 पेपर, एक हिंदू और एक इंडियन एक्सप्रेस, क्योंकि इंडियन एक्सप्रेस में क्रिटिकल अप्रोच जो है ना वो बहुत अच्छा देता है द हिंदू की तुलना में। ठीक है, तो मेंस होता तो इंडियन एक्सप्रेस होता, लेकिन प्रीलिम्स है तो द हिंदू पे फोकस ज्यादा अच्छा रहेगा। बाकी आप कंफर्टेबल हो इंडियन एक्सप्रेस से तो भी इट्स वेल एंड गुड, इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन
थैंक यू सर।
यस, एनीवन एल्स? Yes, anyone else? I hope we must conclude. Or is there any query?
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah, sir, I wanted to ask that what is a more efficient way to comprehensively cover the Lakshmikant? Because like, I have completed, but at the time of revision or something like that, it's feel difficult that way.
That's why I said that, na, कि reading Lakshmikant will not always make you comfortable. इसलिए मैंने कहा कि लक्ष्मीकांत को हमेशा सामने बैरेक्ट रख के पढ़ो, सिर्फ अकेले नहीं पढ़ो उसको। इसलिए आपने कितनी बार आप खुद कह रहे हो कि कितनी बार कंप्लीट किया, लेकिन अभी भी लगता है कि मिस्टेक हो जा रही है, नहीं समझ में आ रहा है। आप एक ही चैप्टर उठाओ, उस चैप्टर के बगल में लक्ष्मीकांत के साथ साथ बैरेक्ट भी खोल करके देखो, और उस चैप्टर से पहले बैरेक्ट कम कर लो। आप मान लो अगर फंडामेंटल राइट्स में ही, ठीक है, अगर राइट टू इक्वलिटी आप देखते हो तो आप पहले लक्ष्मीकांत को देख लो, सॉरी पहले आप बैरेक्ट को देख लो, राइट टू इक्वलिटी, और उसके बाद लक्ष्मीकांत को पढ़ो। यू विल फाइंड द डिफरेंस। ठीक है, ये अप्रोच करके देखो आप, 2-3 चैप्टर में आपको पता चल जाएगा, फिर वो कभी भूलेगा नहीं।
So we have to keep NCERTs and Bayrect as a foundation, and upon that we have to go for
एक्चुअली फिर कभी नहीं कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं गलत होगा फिर।
सर बैरेक्ट की वर्डिंग्स काफी ज्यादा मतलब कॉम्प्लिकेटेड सी रहती है।
तो लक्ष्मीकांत किस लिए है साथ में? इसलिए तो मैंने ये नहीं कहा कि अकेले बैरेक्ट पढ़ो।
अच्छा, हाँ जी सर, जी सर।
ठीक है, सो दोनों को एक साथ पढ़ने के लिए कहा है। इट विल मेक कंफर्टेबल। जहां जो इसका लूप होल है वो इसकी स्ट्रेंथ है, जो इसका स्ट्रेंथ है वो उसका लूप होल है। ठीक है
सर, बैराक्ट का मतलब कोई स्पेसिफिक बुक तो नहीं ना, लाइक पीडीएफ डाउनलोड करके?
नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। सीधे आप जाना बुक स्टॉल पे और सीधे पीएम बख्शी बैरेक्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का, बहुत और भी बैरेक्ट होते हैं, आईपीसी सीआरपीसी का भी होता है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का बैरेक्ट ले लेना, पीएम बख्शी।
ओके सर,
ठीक है,
थैंक यू सर।
वेलकम। Anyone else?
I think so. Just I wanted to say, like, I am like, it's nice to see you after 2 years. I have seen you in 2018 or 19, I think, in AA Mukherjee Nagar.
Okay.
कुछ भी नहीं बदले अभी तक, ऐसे ही बढ़िया एकदम।
Thank you for your compliment. Thank you for your compliment. बदलना भी नहीं है। Okay, so we must conclude. Okay, so thank you all, okay, for being here. Okay,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
क्या कुछ काम चलाओ ना।